Spit to the beat. Podcast. It's all about inside the music industry.
Nobody do it better. And welcome to Spit to the Beat podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable Per Year. And we are live in the studio this evening today. Before I get started, I do have a very, very special guest in the house with me, live in full effect. Before we get started, I definitely want you to go ahead and go to my Facebook page. You can catch video clips of this show at Stacey Be Unstoppable Per Year or Stacey Spit to the Beat Per Year. And also, don't forget, you can catch the full episode video clip of this show on my YouTube channel at Spit to the Beat. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. So, without further ado, in the studio with me, it's my pleasure. None other, city that knows her everywhere, all around, Miss Karen Brown. How you doing?
I am well. How are you today?
I'm great. I want to thank you for joining me into the studio and everything. Having a great show today already. Let me ask you this. Tell my audience a little bit about yourself. That they don't already know.
I smile. No, I'm kidding. But my name is Karen Brown. I have been doing music pretty much all my life since I was a young girl. I started out in the church, of course, singing with my older sister. We used to do duets together, my first few years. And then I went solo, like at 7.
At 7. What was you feeling to make you go solo at 7?
People were asking for me. So, I just had to step out on faith like that.
And what was your style at that age?
I was a church singer, just all church. I was brought up on quartet music and, a little bit of blues, but more so quartet music and, contemporary gospel songs.
Okay, cool. And from then on, as you progressed, as you got older in age, where did you go from there?
Oh, my goodness. I went all over the place. Even with the quartet and the blues and all of that, I was still singing my R&B and stuff, in my own little private space and things like that. But I just love music, period.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how does church been playing a part in your music?
Ooh, church plays a big role in my music. First of all, because God is in the music. God is in everything that I do. Yeah. So he's been carrying me and carrying me through and still carrying me through up to this point.
Okay. I know I have talked to several other artists, and I know the background, most of them has been church, and starting from church and then branching out and stuff like that. You touch on, outside of church, you touch on other genres of music, such as R&B, soul, and stuff like that. How has that formed you as an artist?
Definitely helps me get into my emotion and the depth of the music a little bit better. Doing other genres, of course, singing gospel music is focused on God, but God is love. So love is in all different types of music. And then he allows me to bring that love and that emotion out when I sing.
Okay, awesome. So in bringing that love out into R&B and other genres of music, I have personally seen you perform several times.
All right.
Of course, we talked earlier before the interview, the Rumble Room.
Yes.
You do several shows down there. So really enjoyed the atmosphere. The crowd was into your performance. When you're on stage, what is your attempt to bring to the audience?
I literally bring 100% of myself.
Okay.
I have no gimmicks. I have, nothing to try to cover or camouflage. I don't have no dance moves. I move my shoulders. That's about it. So you're literally getting 100% Karen Brown.
Who's some of your influence as far as singers?
Oh my goodness. I love Aretha. I love Patty. I love Gladys. I love most of the old school singers, but if you bring it up to the 80s, you'll say Whitney Houston would be my girl. just anybody that made an impact in music. That's who I love.
Okay. So you just follow all of them.
I do.
Have you sure? In some of your shows, I know you do covers. So you have many of the artists. Who was your favorite go-to artist that you make sure you?
Well, I am a cover artist still right now. But I'll say Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin. And I say those two specifically because they evoked their passion in their music. You could hear it in the sound of their voice. Mm-hmm. It almost feels like they may have lived a piece of their lives through their music because I can relate to it so well.
Okay, great. Sound like, from your standpoint of music and everything, from the church, coming up 7 years old, now branched out on yourself. That's bold. Hey, if you felt it, then hey.
Well, let me just say this. This is nothing that I plan to do with my life. Okay. I've always wanted to sing, but I've always, it has, to a certain extent, held myself back because I didn't think that I was physically capable to do what I'm doing.
So what was the plans, original plans?
I to be a teacher, to be in a classroom somewhere, where I would just, be there to encourage the kids, teach the kids or whatever. I never thought that I would be out front in front of thousands, maybe even millions of people.
Would you thought you would have been a music teacher or what type of teacher? It would have came out of you.
Well, music would have come out, of course. But I'm very good at English. I'm very good in biology, so, not math though.
Okay.
Not in the classroom.
Have you ever thought about going into teaching?
Well, I actually have a degree in elementary education, so I could teach if I want to.
Look at you.
I do have a Bachelor of Science degree in education.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, let's jump back to your music.
Okay.
Now. You've been out there for a while, been singing all over the city, here in Memphis. What other places have you out the country? Let's start out the country that you went to and sung and wowed the people.
Let's say Jamaica. I've gone to Jamaica. I've gone to Mexico. Outside of the country, I've been on a couple of cruises, and hits different spots or whatever. But I just.
How was the experience with being out the country?
Oh, it's a great experience because it introduces you to new people who don't know you from like being local or somewhere like that, and expanding your territory because I make connections that way as well.
That's what I was going to ask you. Next question, making connections, international connections.
Yes.
So that keeps you busy a little bit too.
It keeps me very busy.
I know one thing. You definitely be going a lot.
I do. If it's not out of the country, I'm inside the States somewhere.
Because every time we had attempt to have a conversation, you was on the road or doing something. So I'm definitely glad to get you in here today.
And I'm glad to be here.
Good. Hey, hold tight. I'm going to take a little PA break. Okay?
Okay.
Hey, this is Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable Per You with Spit to the Beat podcast. Would you like to be my guest if you're a singer, songwriter, musician, producer, or promoter? Give me a call at 901-341-6777 or email me at myguest@spittothebeat.com.
All right, we're back to Spit to the Beat podcast I'm your host, Stacey, aka Beat Unstoppable Per You, and live in the studio with me is Miss Karen Brown, Memphis native, known all over the city. If you don't know who I'm talking about, shame on you. But also now that we talked about the international travels in your concerts and performance there. So what cities in the United States have you?
I should have made a list. So I frequent Houston and I frequent Dallas. I've been to Atlanta a couple of times. I actually just came from DC doing a gospel convention out there. But and I'm from Mississippi. I'm a Mississippi native.
Okay, what part of Mississippi?
I'm from Oxford, Mississippi, but I went to Jackson, Mississippi to go to college, and then that led me to here.
Okay. So how long you been in Memphis? Since age what?
2004, I can tell you that.
Right.
Right.
You gotta keep that age thing.
Right. Really,
Yeah.
2003. Yeah, I moved here in 2003.
Okay.
And I don't mind telling my age because I'm very proud of my age. But you know,
Well, it's good. It's good to be alive.
yes, these days.
I tell you, for us, it's good to be 55.
Yes.
So I'm happy about that. So let's go on a little deeper now. Let's talk about some of your achievements that you have accomplished, award-winning achievements.
Oh goodness. So I would say the first is winning multiple awards at the Jackson Music Awards in Mississippi. Actually even got recognized as an R&B diva for the state of Mississippi some years ago. And then I've gotten resolutions from the city of Jackson. I was on Showtime at the Apollo with Steve Harvey when he was on there, and I actually won. So, you know, that was a great experience. Then I've won some local awards here in Memphis, Best in Black Awards. I don't know. I'd have to look at them to tell you.
Let's go back to the Apollo.
Yes.
I had another guest. I don't know, you may know her. She's from Little Rock, Arkansas. Miss Nikki Parrish.
I know Nikki. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, she was on my show 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And she talked about how Apollo went. And you just said that. So bing.
Right, exactly.
So how was your experience on Apollo?
Oh man, it was phenomenal. And if I can go back to how I originally got there, because if I'm not mistaken, there's an audition process that you have to go through. But Steve Harvey was actually performing in Jackson, Mississippi that particular night, and his after party was at the venue that I was singing at.
Okay.
And so he walked in and I was singing or whatever, long story less long. After I was done, I went over to him and he was like, I'm sending you to the Apollo. That's how I got there.
Wow, he got a front row experience of Cam Brown
Yes,
show, and then all of a sudden just walk over there and just send you to Apollo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
so
sir.
your journey from Memphis, was it Mississippi or Memphis?
I was in Jackson at the time.
Okay, Jackson at the time. So you going to Apollo. How was New York treating you?
Oh,
How many days were you there?
I was there for a few days. It was ice cold. It was snowing. It was, wet and everything. So I couldn't live there. But I mean, the experience was great.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. We're moving right along. I want to thank you again for all this wealth of information. Now tell me, tell my audience, what would you tell young people or new artists that's coming up? What advice would you give them to in this business? We know how this business can be cutthroat, not on your side and stuff like that. To avoid the pitfalls and the loopholes, what would you say to those artists?
I would encourage a new up and coming artist to find your niche and stay in that lane. There's no need to try to mimic someone else or be like someone else. Just find you. Even when I do covers, I still find my own voice in singing someone else's song. So I encourage you to find you in the music.
Yeah.
And bloom and blossom right there.
Just be you.
Just be you.
Yeah. Do you advise like coaching or anything like that? Any type of mentor they can get?
The mentors are out there. They are available if requested and wanted. I would say don't come in thinking that you know everything. Be open-minded and willing to learn. Even I'm still learning. As long as I've been in the business, I am still learning because technology changes daily and you have to stay on top of the new nuances and things or whatever to succeed. Yeah.
So how has, and saying that, how has technology affected you and your music? I know you and I grew up with old style and stuff like that. Now we're into this new technology of AI and everything else. How has that come into your music?
Well, I've only released one single of my own. And of course it was released digitally, even though I had some copies printed and everything. But I'm finding that it's hard to calculate all your digital streams and all that kind of stuff. Of course it's out there, but you don't know if that's real or not. So really the music that I have created and the music that I put out there, even though it's one song is still enough. And it speaks to everybody. And my thing is it's going to do what it's going to do. Yeah. It's going to reach who it's going to reach. Okay. I can go all avenues and do everything I can to get it out there everywhere. But it's going to reach and touch who it's going to reach and touch.
Awesome. You normally when you perform, I guess most of the time you perform, you have a band. Is that the original band that always perform with you? Or
No. So, and in that aspect, it's a thing of getting the people together that blend with your chemistry.
Okay.
I've had some trial and error. I've had some good days and I've had some bad days when it comes to that. But then you have to find somebody that's willing to be consistent and professional in all areas of their life, because that's going to affect what they do musically.
So during the rehearsal time, that way everything has to gel before y'all perform and stuff like that. So y'all have had some ups and downs.
Oh, sometimes there's no rehearsal and it literally happens on the stage.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So a lot of that is organic chemistry.
Okay.
And when it's organic like that, that's when it's real.
That's real. Okay. That just blow your mind when it just operate like that.
Exactly.
That's nothing but God.
Totally God. Yes.
And God helped you pull that performance off.
Oh yeah. Because like I said, especially the times when there are no rehearsals, because everybody's so busy and here and there and everywhere. And then when we come together, you would think we had rehearsed like 3 or 4 times when it's literally just happening right there in that space.
Cool. Outside of gospel, and I know gospel probably will be your favorite one. What other genre of music would you prefer to sing?
R&B is good, but if they need a genre called love, because I love singing love music.
Yeah, let's talk about that love music.
Yes.
I mean, I know you always put on a big Valentine event, love and stuff like surrounded by love and stuff like that. So how does love makes you that artist?
I think my middle name should be Love, because I talk about and I sing about every essence and every aspect of love. I've actually gone through a lot of it myself, so it's easy for me to talk about and sing about. I can sing about the heartbreak. I can sing about the good love. I can sing about the great love. I can sing about the sad love, because I've experienced it. So that experience is a good teacher.
Good. All right, hold tight. We'll do another PA break.
All right.
Hey, this is Stacy, aka Be Unstoppable Per You. Thank you for listening to our show, Spit to the Beat Podcast. If you would like to be a sponsor, visit our website at www.spittothebeat.com and click the support tab and leave a donation. We really would appreciate it. Thank you again for listening. Also, catch every episode Thursday morning at 8 a.m.
All right. We're back to Spit to the Beat Podcast. I'm your host, Stacey, aka Be Unstoppable Prayer, and I'm enjoying in the studio with my very special guest, Miss Karen Brown, who's sharing her life story and her music journey. So speaking on that, how has your music journey been going thus far?
My music journey has been, I'm going to say, consistent. I never thought that I would still be doing this like right now, but God has provided and is still providing ways for me to make a awesome living doing what I do. And that's singing covers.
Singing covers.
Is
there an album in you?
Yeah, I've even recorded an album, but I didn't release it. I just wanted to do it just to see if I could do it. But
I thought you did.
I know. Well, no. Nobody knew about it.
Okay.
So actually, the song that I did release, I wrote that song 20 years ago, but I only released it 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, because I got, as they say, artists are sensitive about their stuff.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if anybody would receive it, but when I released it, I've actually sung the single that I released. It's called With You. It's on all digital outlets. I have performed that song for maybe 5 wedding couples on their wedding day.
Okay.
Yeah, they requested that song, so it's pretty dope.
So how can people get in touch with you as far as booking you and finding your music, or just finding you period out there on the social world?
KarenBrownLive@gmail.com is how you can contact me. You can find me on social media on Instagram at Karen Brown Live. Facebook is the same thing, Karen Brown Live. I try to keep it simple.
There you go. Last but not least, last question. What Is there anything in the future works?
You know, I'm literally prepared to do what the Lord allows me to do.
Okay.
And that's what I see in my future.
You gonna tap us in on that a little bit?
I mean, I know that's a broad answer, but I mean, I'm literally following the journey that he places in front of me. Okay. And that's just my truth.
That's so true. All right. There you have it, people. Miss Karen Brown on Spit to the Beat podcast. Again, I want to thank you for being on the show and taking out time of your busy schedule.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. You gotta
run somewhere now.
No, I'm actually good today.
Awesome. Good. All right, hold tight as I close the show out. Thank you.